What's up, you guys? It's Greg. So as you know, this is not necessarily a DIY channel, but I think it's important for homeowners and DIYers to know how to do something like put in a tile backsplash, because that'll really increase the value of either a rental property or your own home, especially if you're like looking to sell in today's market. Let's jump right into the parts list, because I think that's going to be the most important thing, so you can determine the cost and see if it's something that you want to spend your money on. So first we have the tile. So we're doing a 3x6 subway tile, and they look just like this, just like any other subway tile. So a box of subway tile is $15 at Home Depot. So you can figure out the square footage of the actual surface area, what you need to cover. This one we're gonna use about 2.5 boxes. So we're gonna spend about $45 just on the subway tile itself. So $45, and then you're gonna need some type of spacers. These basically, it's part of a clip system. They look like this. They're at Home Depot. Basically what this does is you can just slide it underneath the tile to make sure that the first bottom layer is flat, because it's very important that your backsplash is level, because you can't just like eyeball something like this, especially when you're this close, because when you're standing back, people are going to notice that. On a side note, if you like this type of content and want to figure out how I made these concrete countertops for $75, check the channel below, because as I'm wrapping up this rental property project, I'm going to be coming out with a lot of videos. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Thanks. So this is just a end cap Schluter system. So what this basically does is it finishes the edge, but basically what this does is you go ahead and it finishes the edge. So you have just a nice finished edge. So, but you actually need to install this before you're installing your tile. So again, just go ahead and make sure it's flat. Then you just butt your tile right up there, and then you grout in between this line here. This is about $10 from Home Depot. Really not that expensive. You just gotta make sure you get the right size for whatever thickness tile you're using. This is a score and snap. So basically you just run it over and then snap it. It does exactly what it sounds like. And it's really good for making big general cuts. So like if I was gonna cut this in half, I'd take a 3-inch section and just score and snap it. It's really not good for like ripping cuts this way or doing really small ones. Usually the tile ends up cracking, especially on these small tiles here. And this score and snap is about $20 or $30 at Home Depot. I don't remember exactly how much this was. They're pretty useful because they're pretty quick to use. But you'll need something to make the rip cuts, like I said, or really small cuts. You can get this grinder at Harbor Freight I got it for $9. I think it's normally $13. I had a coupon. Then I put a $10 DeWalt concrete cutting blade on, and that works just fine to do rip cuts if you don't want to take the money, or excuse me, you don't want to take the time and money to actually buy a tile saw. Like if you're gonna go ahead and do the backsplash and a shower, and like you want to do a couple tiling projects, then it's probably worth investing in a tile saw because they're like 150 bucks. But if you're just gonna do the backsplash, it's probably not worth it, because then you have to like not only pay for it, but then you have to store it, and nobody wants to store extra stuff that you're not gonna use again. This is a rigid one. This was the cheapest one at Home Depot when I bought it. It literally is just a wet saw. There's an area for water down there, and there's just a wet blade. The blade itself is like 30 bucks. And I think that rigid saw is a little bit more expensive now since Ryobi came out with one. But if you're looking for a tile saw, they're really not that expensive, or you can just rent one. So next, let's look at what actually it takes to secure the tile to the wall. If you're doing a shower application, you definitely want to use thin set, or if you're putting a tile down on the floor, you want to use that. But since this is a backsplash, it's not a heavy water area. You can actually use like sorry, it's got paint all over it, a professional tile adhesive. And this stuff works well. It's basically just pre-mixed glue that sticks tile to the wall. This was $14, $15. But what I like to use is this Loctite Power Grab Ultimate. So this is a really good tool to have, something I always have with me just in case I need to glue something down, because basically it'll stick anything to anything else, and it's gonna hold. So really I just pop this into a caulk gun, which is, if you're gonna go with this route, you will need a caulk gun. These are not that expensive. And you literally just pop it in, and then boom, you just squeeze it onto the tile, and then it sticks. I've never had an issue with it. So next you need some type of level to make your tile level. I think that's very important, like I said before. I use a laser level. You can just use a normal level. You can get these on sale. You just gotta kind of watch out for one. If you're really only gonna use it a couple of times, just use a normal level, it's fine. So you can just go to the tile aisle and just pick a grout that's good for your tile. So like this one, it says for grout joints up to an 1/8 inch there. This is unsanded grout. So because there's not a lot of gap here, you have to get a specific grout. If you're gonna do a spacer, with a bigger gap there, then you're gonna need to get a different type grout. So just make sure that the grout you get works with your tile. These are probably $13, $15, really not that expensive. Then you'll need a grout float. This one's kind of dirty right now. These are like $6. It just helps you installing the grout, and then some type of sponge to wipe it off. These are like $1.50. And really, in terms of supplies, that's all you're gonna need to install a backsplash. So let's jump right into it. So I'm just gonna run you through real quick what I've actually done already. So this is that Schlitter system. It just creates a finished edge there for the tile. So I will grout that. So here you can see I started with the highest point. So these are actually full tiles here. So I got this bottom row perfectly level. Typically what I do is I will start that first row and let it set. Because then from there, the tile's not gonna move. If I pile tile on top of it, it's not gonna get heavy and slide down the wall, which is something that really bothers me. So I usually do the first level, let it dry, let it set, and then continue to lay up from there. So here we have full piece, a 3-inch piece, full piece, 3-inch piece. So we're staggering, we're doing that brick pattern there. So you're just gonna start here and then just go across. And then right about here is where it started to get a little, like the countertop started getting a little bit higher. So I had to start shaving off the bottom of some of these tiles. But to your eye, you probably don't really notice that. Actually on camera, that one looks like it's a little bit high right there. But keep in mind, there's gonna be silicone from the backsplash to the countertop right there. So nobody's gonna notice it. But to the naked eye and noticing it, you're not gonna be like, ooh, these couple of tiles are so much shorter than the other ones because I took off so little material there. So the trick is to find the high point where you can lay a full tile and then slowly shave off as you need, because you're not gonna notice it with the naked eye. So that's basically it, and that's basically how you start. It's just starting the bottom row and then starting with a 3-inch piece and then just laying over and just cutting around for your faucet and your outlets. right, so I got all the tile installed. Went ahead and let it dry overnight, so everything's nice and ready to be grouted. So we're just gonna go ahead and grab our grout stuff. Remember, get the right grout for your tile spacing. So here we just have the sponge, the grout float. I'm gonna use this to stir, to mix the grout with the bucket, because I actually don't have my mechanical mixer here. And then you literally just follow the steps on the back of your grout box. You could see the shower right through there. If you haven't watched that video when I did the shower, go ahead and click the channel or the link down below to go check out that video. But yeah, so this grout, I think it looks really good, especially from back here. I think this kitchen really turned out well, especially considering that this was 3.5 boxes worth of tile. So that's, you know, right in there at the $60 price point. And I also had the grout from the shower, but if I had to buy the grout just for this, it's about $15. And then just in glue, I probably spent about $20, $25 in glue. So I think that this turned out really well. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully you're able to pull some good information from the parts list and just to kind of see the process and exactly how easy it is to go ahead and do the backsplash. Because I think that this profile looks really good and really will increase the value of the property. Like always, thanks for watching. If you like this video, go make sure to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. That would really help me out. It helps share the video with more people. If you like this type of finance and real estate content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. That way you're notified every time I post a video. If you use this video as inspiration to go ahead and do your own backsplash and you decide to make a video or a time lapse out of it, please tag me in the comments down below. I'd love to go and watch it and see what you guys can do. I'll catch you next video.